Hello, in this video we are going to look at 2D arrays, how to populate 2D arrays, and then read the populated cells. Like one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array also can hold data type, the same data type. Suppose if we store integer in one cell, then all cell will hold integer only. So if we store a account object in one cell, then all cells of two-dimensional array will hold account objects. In the below example, 3 cross 3 array is declared. So 3 cross 3 in the sense the array have two dimension. The width of the array is 3 and height of the array also 3. Otherwise, an array is having 3 row and 3 column. So you can think this as a table with a 2 dimension row and column. So the array is having a 3 row and 3 column. Since the dimensions are specified here, that means we specified int of 3, 3. That means in two square brackets we specified 3, 3. The first one specifies the row and second one specifies the column. And since we asked a new int of 3, 3, Java allocates a space for 9 cells to hold the value of integer. And this array is reachable by array2d. That's the name given to the array. Then in the left hand side you can also see int 2 square brackets. So this is the notation that says that array2d is a two-dimensional array. So one square bracket states first dimension and second square bracket says the second dimension. That means it's a two-dimensional array of type integer. So that's what the left hand side says, and the right hand side says how much space to be allocated and how the two dimensions are organized. Here we specified 3 cross 3, so that means the array is a square array with 3 rows and 3 columns. We can specify the dimension here differently also. Say for example, if I say int of 6, 3, then it's a 18 cell array with 6 rows and 3 columns. So once the array is declared, it can be accessed through indexing operators. If it is a single dimension array, we specify the array name, then we will specify indexing operator. Since this is a two-dimensional array, we have to specify the this cell based on the row and column values. So that means we need two indexing operator. One indexing operator tells where is the row, and second indexing operator tells where is the column. So these two indexing operator together identifies a cell. So in the below example, we are accessing the array element from second row and second column. This means the indexing operator for row and column starts from 0. So since we need second column and second row, we specify the row as 1 and column as 1. So you can see that in the picture aside. Here if you see, this is a 3 cross 3 array, and you can see the column index 0, 1, 2, then row index 0, 1, 2. So here the picture shows how the center of the cell is picked by the indexing operator. Array 2D is the identifier given to the array, two-dimensional array. So we specify array 2D 1, 1. Array 2D in first square bracket we specify 1, and in second square bracket we specify 1. Since first square bracket specifies row, this one is identified, so we know the second row identified by the index 1. Then we know that by the second dimension, second column, that means index 1, the second index number in the column is specified here. So they both together 1, 1, first row and first column index together identifies this cell here marked in red. So whatever is the value stored in here, that will get retrieved and stored in the integer variable m. Okay, let us see an example. Here we first allocated a space for 10 cross 10 array. So Java will allocate 100 integers. There are 10 row and 10 column. So that's the dimension. The first dimension row is 10, second dimension column is 10. So they together forms a 100 cell array. Next we have a nested loop through which we populate this 2D array to form a multiplication table. The table will hold multiplication result from 1 to 10. If you want to know the result of 6 into 7, we have to access the array element through the two-dimensional array as a multiplication 5, 6. Since the indexing starts from 0, we are not able to specify here 6, 7 directly. So it will be 1 less than the result. So since we need 6 into 7, we specified first dimension as 5 and second dimension as 6. That means 1 less than the multiplication operands. So here the operands are 6, 7. So we specify 1 less than that since the index starts from 0. So here is the print function of the same class. So multitable is the class. So we have a generate method that generates the two-dimensional array called multiplication. In a code snippet 0 you saw how it was declared, and here in snippet 2 we are seeing how it get populated. So in the statement multiplication of I comma j, we are actually forming the two-dimensional table. We are generating the multiplication result, then we are storing it in the multiplication table. So this is the statement. Next we are actually generating we are printing the multiplication table in the console output window. So the catch here is we are reading the data from the two-dimensional array. So here, if you see in the system.out.printf, printf is the formatted output statement. We are reading the array element multiplication I, j within the square parenthesis, the square bracket. So in each iteration, it locates the multiplication table array, which is holding the result, and it prints that in a formatted way. The system.out.printf first prints 4D. 4D means we are printing it in a formatted way. That means we are allocating room for 4 digit, and we are justifying the result from the right aligned fashion. So 4D, then some space into mark, then some space, then the second dimension j plus 1. First dimension is I plus 1. This first 4D, we are supplying the value of I plus 1. That means the first, the outermost for loop value. Then in the second dimension, we are specifying the innermost for loop value, j plus 1. So the table will be generated like this: 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3, 1 into 4, like that. So the first one is outer for loop, and second it increments 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then when we come to the second outer loop, it will be 2 into 1, 2 into 2, 2 into 3. Then 3 into 1, 3 into 2, 3 into 3. So like that the iteration goes. So the same way the multiplication table values are retrieved from the cell in this order: 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. So since the index starts from 0, the values are retrieved like initially I told 1, 1. It's not 1, 1. It will be retrieved as 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 to generate the first multiplication table. When the for loop outer for loop runs for second time, the multiplication table is generated like a multiplication of 1, 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. So likewise, it goes till the table 10 or index 9. So we accessed the 2D array element and printed the multiplication table. So here printed in the sense we used printf like C++. So here the printf provides a formatted output. So within the double quotes, we specified in which format we need the output. So after that, we specified the actual value. So here we specified the format specifier 4D to align the output in the console window. Output you can see here in the below picture. This is what we are going to generate. All right, let us explore this in Eclipse. So here is the example what we saw in the slide. First we will create a multitable.java. So we are creating a new class for our multiplication table. Package is default. Okay, here our class is ready. This is the declaration. Then here we are populating the array in snippet 2. In snippet 3 we are printing the content of the array. Here is the formatted output. Populating the array goes here inside the nested loop. Then here we are reading the content. So it's a good idea to have a breakpoint here to see how it gets generated. And retrieving we don't need, so here itself we will understand how the array is getting populated. Then retrieving is we can see it easily. We can put one breakpoint here. We will see how it gets read for one or two table. Then we will remove the breakpoint later. So we'll add our second class. That will be our main class, which creates the instance of multi-table, then generate the array and print the result. So we just need the content of a static void main. So before that, is the class name. Since we need a static void main, I'm placing a check mark here. Finish, and let us format it. So here our content is ready. So now we will execute this and see how the array get generated. So first we created the multi-table, our class instance multi-table. Then we are making call to generate. Since we kept a breakpoint here, it is staying here. Let's go to the variable and see how the multiplication table gets generated. So you can see it has it displays the first dimension. It is displaying all the rows, but if you expand your row, it will show all the columns. Since we are going to populate first dimension is a 0, I is a 0, so this here, this is the value of I outer for loop. We are giving a dimension of I0, I here in the to denote the row. So here you are seeing all row. The second dimension is column. That means inside you can see the column here. So now we will populate. First we are entered into the outer for loop. Then we are entering into the inner for loop. First one is for row and the second one is for column. J here, that means we use the innermost loop to denote the column index. So the outermost loop is for row index. Alright, so now we are accessing our first cell. Note here the size get allocated and all initialized to 0. So you can see all anywhere you can see our all are 0. So it's initialized, the entire two-dimensional array is initialized with 0. Now we are going to populate it. So you can see how the value get generated. So we are generating our first table, 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3, like that we are generating. So once we come out of it, we will generate our second dimension. If you see, the first one is populated, the second table now will get populated. then third will get populated, likewise it will go. Now I will remove the breakpoint by double clicking the margin, and here we say that our array is populated, and we can see that in the console output window. So the array is ready by this point. Next we are printing our table array. Let me step into it, or I can even go for a step over. Since I have a breakpoint in print statement, it will stop there. I mean in the print method. So if you see, now we are accessing our multiplication table with I0 and column J0. I0, J0, that means multiplication table of 0, comma 0. So this is the cell we are retrieving now. In the format output, this is the statement, and you can see the content get printed. So this is how we are printing our table. You can see all 10 get printed, and next we go and print the second one. So if I run it in full speed, so I will remove the breakpoint here and continue printing it, and you can see the result. So all the table content get generated. So our multiplication table actually stores the value of this result. Other stuff we formed dynamically. Here you saw the usage of two-dimensional array. So that's all here in the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.